You don't belong in this family, Elena hissed, her fingers digging into Sophie's arm as the girl squirmed. Sophie yanked back, eyes wide with fury, her small chest heaving. You're not my mom, she spat, voice cracking like glass under pressure. Elena's grip tightened, nails leaving red marks. Call me mother now or you'll regret it. Your real one is gone. Face it. Sophie's lips trembled, but she bit down hard, refusing to cry. She twisted free and bolted from the room, her footsteps echoing down the marble hall. Elena straightened her silk dress, lips curling in disdain. Spoiled brat, she muttered, smoothing her hair before rejoining the crowd. Richard Harlan stood at the edge of the lavish gathering, glass in hand, oblivious at first. The penthouse buzzed with Wall Street elites clinking champagne, their laughter sharp and hollow. He scanned the room, his jaw set firm, CEO of a tech empire, always in control. But Sophie's absence gnawed at him. He excused himself from a cluster of investors, his polished shoes clicking as he moved. Elena intercepted him, her smile a mask of ice. She's just throwing a tantrum, she said, voice low and cutting. Let her sulk. We have deals to close. Richard's brow furrowed, doubt flickering in his eyes. He pushed past her, heart pounding harder than it had in boardrooms. Sophie huddled in her room, clutching the teddy bear her late mother had sewn, its fur worn from endless hugs. Tears streamed down her cheeks now, silent and hot. She hadn't spoken to Elena in months, the woman's cold commands building like a wall. Elena's words replayed in her mind, stabbing deep. Gone forever, Sophie whispered to the bear, her fists clenching until knuckles whitened. Downstairs the party droned on, but Richard's unease grew. He caught a glimpse of Elena laughing with a banker, her eyes scanning for threats to her perfect image. She had built her career on ruthlessness, cutting out anyone who didn't fit her vision of power. Richard paused at Sophie's door, hand hovering on the knob. Memories flooded him. His wife's death 2 years ago. The cancer that stole her fast. He'd buried himself in work, leaving Sophie with nannies. Now with Elena, he thought he'd rebuild. But Sophie's silence screamed louder. He turned the knob, stepping in. Sophie? His voice softened, but she buried her face in the bear, shoulders shaking. Elena appeared behind him, arms crossed. See? Dramatic as always. We don't have time for this. Richard shot her a glare, his patience fraying. Sophie's muffled sob cut through, pulling him closer. He knelt, but she shrank back, her eyes accusing. The rift widened in that moment, unspoken accusations hanging heavy. Elena tapped her foot, impatience boiling. Handle it, Richard, or I will. Her threat lingered, laced with control. Richard's fists balled at his sides, conflict raging inside. He stood, turning to her. Not like this. But Elena's eyes narrowed, plotting already. Sophie peeked up, hope flickering briefly before fear doused it. The air thickened with tension, the perfect facade cracking under the weight of hidden fractures. She's just wandering off. Deal with it yourself, Elena snapped at Richard, her voice slicing through the party noise like a blade. Richard's face hardened, veins bulging in his neck. Wandering? She's 6, Elena. He shoved past her, his suit jacket flapping as he stormed toward the balcony. Elena rolled her eyes, nails tapping her glass. Always the drama with that kid. But Richard's pulse thundered, instincts kicking in. He burst onto the balcony, wind whipping his tie. Below, New York streets roared with traffic, horns blaring. Then he saw her, Sophie teetering on the edge, small hands gripping the railing, face pale with terror. Sophie, no! Richard lunged forward, but she slipped, her scream piercing the night. Maya Thompson froze on the sidewalk below, her backpack slung over one shoulder after a long shift in Brooklyn. Horns honked around her, but her eyes locked on the child dangling from the high-rise. Without a breath, she dropped her bag and sprinted into the chaos. Hold on, baby, she yelled, dodging a cab that screeched to a halt. Adrenaline surged through her veins, muscles burning as she leapt onto the fire escape ladder. Sophie kicked wildly, fingers slipping. Daddy, she wailed, tears blurring her vision. Maya climbed faster, her boots scraping metal. I'm coming, don't let go! Up above, Richard clawed at the railing, helpless, his shouts drowned by the city din. Elena appeared behind him, arms crossed. This is ridiculous. Call security. Richard whirled on her. Shut up. That's our daughter. Maya reached Sophie just as the girl's grip failed. She snatched the child's wrist, yanking her onto the narrow ledge. Sophie collapsed into Maya's arms, sobbing uncontrollably, her body shaking like a leaf in a storm. It's okay, honey. I got you. Maya held her tight, stroking her hair with steady hands scarred from years of hard work. Sophie clung back, burying her face in Maya's coat. Daddy's marrying a mean lady. She wants me to forget Mommy. Maya's jaw clenched, memories of her own losses flooding in. Her brother Jamal, taken too soon by illness in a rundown clinic. I know what that's like, sweetheart. Losing someone hurts deep. She rocked Sophie gently, her voice a soothing anchor amid the blaring sirens below. Richard raced down the stairs, heart slamming against his ribs, shoving past guests who stared in confusion. Move! He barked, sweat beading on his forehead. Elena trailed him, heels clicking sharply. This is embarrassing. Fix it quietly. But Richard ignored her, bursting out of the lobby doors into the street. He spotted them, Maya cradling Sophie, the girl's tears soaking her shirt. Richard dropped to his knees, arms outstretched. Sophie, thank God. Sophie peeked up, then buried deeper into Maya. She saved me, Daddy. Maya's eyes met Richard's, steady and unflinching. Your girl's scared. Listen to her. Richard nodded, throat tight, guilt crashing over him like waves. He'd built walls of work, ignoring the cracks in his family. Elena arrived, lips pursed in fury. Who is this woman? Get away from my stepdaughter. Maya stood slowly, handing Sophie over but keeping her gaze locked. Stepdaughter? She needs love, not orders. Elena's face twisted. Mind your place. Richard pulled Sophie close, her small hands gripping his shirt. But Maya's words lingered, piercing his armor. For the first time he saw the void he'd created. Sophie's fear, Elena's control, his own blindness. As sirens wailed in the distance, drawing closer, Richard's resolve hardened. This night shattered his illusions, forcing him to confront the rot beneath his empire's shine. You're just some stranger off the street. Back off, Elena snarled at Maya, her heels grinding into the pavement as she yanked Sophie from her arms. Maya's fists clenched, knuckles whitening against the strain. She's terrified because of you. Elena cut her off, voice like a whip. Don't you dare accuse me. Who are you anyway? Some low-rent nanny from the projects? Richard stepped between them, his breath ragged from the run, hands still trembling on Sophie's shoulder. Enough, Elena. She saved our daughter. Sophie's fingers dug into Richard's sleeve, her whimpers muffled but insistent. Maya locked eyes with Elena, chin lifted defiantly. Saved her from what? Forcing her to forget her own mother? Elena's lips twisted in scorn. Mind your business. This family's not for outsiders like you. Richard pulled Sophie closer, her small body still shaking, and faced Maya squarely. What did she tell you? Maya exhaled sharply, her posture unyielding despite Elena's glare boring into her. That you're marrying someone who demands she erase her mom. Kids, I'm breaking inside. Elena interrupted again, finger jabbing the air. Lies. She's manipulating you both. Richard shot Elena a warning look, his jaw locking tight. Stop. He turned back to Maya, pulling out his wallet with practiced ease, hundreds spilling like confetti. Name your price. For saving her. Maya's eyes narrowed, arms crossing over her chest. Keep your cash. Listen to your girl instead. She's screaming for you to hear. Richard froze, wallet hovering, shock rippling across his face. No one ever refused his money. It solved everything in his world. Sophie tugged at Richard's hand, her voice a whisper cutting through the tension. Daddy, she's nice, like Mommy was. Elena huffed, stepping forward to grab Sophie's arm. Don't compare. We're building something better. Maya blocked her subtly, body language firm. Better? By ignoring her pain? Richard's mind raced, fragments connecting. Sophie silenced these months. Elena's constant push for perfection. He pocketed the wallet, resolve hardening in his chest. Tell me more about what she said. Maya nodded once, her tone steady amid Elena's fuming. I lost my brother young. Poverty took him, no insurance, no help. I know that hole in your heart. Your daughter's got one too. Elena scoffed loudly. Sob story. We don't need pity from someone like you. But Richard ignored her, the words striking deep, guilt twisting his gut like a knife. Sophie's eyes brightened slightly, gazing up at Maya. You understand? Maya knelt to her level, ignoring Elena's hiss. Yeah, kiddo, it hurts, but talking helps. Richard watched, a crack forming in his armored life. Elena grabbed his elbow, nails digging in. Richard, send her away, now! He shook her off, decision crystallizing. No, you're staying. For Sophie. Maya's brow arched in surprise, but she nodded. If it helps her. Elena's face flushed crimson, storm brewing in her eyes as she spun on her heel and stalked back inside. Richard held Sophie tight, Maya's presence already shifting the air, promising change he hadn't sought but now craved. Yet Elena's retreating footsteps echoed like a warning, her schemes uncoiling in the shadows. She's poisoning that child's mind. Fire her now, Elena demanded, bursting into the kitchen where Sophie sat silent at the table, staring at an untouched plate of food. Richard slammed his coffee mug down, liquid sloshing over the rim. Back off, Elena. Sophie's finally talking because of her. Sophie pushed her plate away, arms wrapping around herself, eyes downcast and hollow. Maya entered quietly, apron tied, her steps measured despite Elena's glare slicing the air. Kid hasn't eaten in days, let me try. Elena blocked her path, finger pointing like a dagger. You? From Brooklyn slums. You'll turn her soft. Maya sidestepped her, kneeling beside Sophie with a gentle firmness. Hey, tough girl, what's scaring you? Sophie's lower lip quivered, but she met Maya's gaze, fists unclenching slightly. Elena crossed her arms, voice dripping venom. Don't encourage her theatrics. Richard shot up, chair scraping harshly. Theatrics? She's grieving. Something you ignore. Sophie whimpered, shrinking further, but Maya ignored the barbs, pulling out crayons from her pocket. Draw what hurts, like I did for my brother. Elena interrupted sharply. We don't need your tragic tales here. But Sophie grabbed a crayon, her small hand trembling as she sketched a crude figure, her mother's stick arms outstretched. Tears dotted the paper, smudging lines. Maya nodded, her own eyes misting but voice steady. That's it. Let it out. Richard watched, chest tightening, memories of his wife's final days crashing in, how he'd worked through her illness, leaving Sophie alone. Elena paced, heels clicking like accusations. This sentimental nonsense weakens her. We build empires, not sob sessions. Sophie's drawing grew bolder, colors mixing chaotically. A house, a family, but Elena's figure loomed dark in the corner. She wants me gone, Sophie whispered to Maya, voice breaking. Maya squeezed her hand. Not everyone sees your strength. Elena snatched the paper, crumpling it. Enough. This isn't therapy hour. Richard ripped it back, unfolding it with care. It is now. Sophie's eyes lit up, a faint smile cracking her face for the first time in weeks. She reached for more crayons, drawing Maya next, smiling, heroic. Elena's face contorted in rage. You're letting this intruder steal our family. Maya stood, handing Sophie a tissue. Family's what you fight for, not control. Richard nodded, decision locking in. Maya stays, full time. Elena stormed out, door slamming, her fury echoing down the hall. Sophie finally picked up her fork, taking a small bite, her shoulders relaxing. Maya sat beside her, sketching alongside. See? One step. Richard joined them, awkward at first, picking up a crayon. His lines were stiff, but Sophie's giggle broke free, light and unexpected. Elena lurked in the doorway unseen, phone in hand, fingers flying over the screen, hiring eyes to watch, to dismantle. But in that moment, Sophie's laughter built a fragile bridge, pulling Richard deeper into the fray he could no longer ignore. You're turning her into a weakling with your ghetto games. Stop it, Elena barked at Maya, snatching the crayon from Sophie's hand mid-stroke. Maya's spine stiffened, her grip tightening on the table edge until wood creaked. Ghetto. These are memories, not games. Sophie froze, crayon stub clutched in her fist, eyes darting between them like trapped fireflies. Richard entered the room, laptop under arm, his tie already loosening from the day's grind. What's this now? Elena whirled on him, face flushed with contempt. Your hired help's filling her head with nonsense. Drawing therapy? We need discipline. Maya cut in sharply. Discipline? She's 6 and broken-hearted. Elena laughed coldly, tossing the crayon aside. Broken? Toughen up or get left behind. Richard set his laptop down hard, screen slamming shut. Let her finish. Sophie hesitated, then scribbled faster. A messy butterfly, wings lopsided, colored in furious reds and blues. Like Mommy sang about, she murmured, voice gaining strength. Maya leaned in, adding a stroke of her own. Yeah, butterflies fly free. Your mom would love this. Elena interrupted, voice rising. Don't invoke the dead. Move on. But Sophie kept drawing, tears mixing with wax, her small shoulders squaring for the first time. Richard watched, guilt clawing his throat. He'd sung that same lullaby to his wife in her final days, then buried it with her. Maya pulled out her wooden box, etched with Jamal's name, opening it to reveal faded sketches. My brother drew dragons, scared of nothing. Sophie's eyes widened, reaching for one. Can I add to it? Elena slapped the box shut, fingers white-knuckled. No, this isn't your sob club. Richard yanked her hand away. It is tonight. At 7 sharp, Maya lit a candle, flame flickering defiantly against Elena's scoff. Remember, don't forget. Sophie leaned forward, whispering about her mother's scent. Warm cookies, vanilla hugs. She'd tuck me in tight. Maya's nod was firm, her own pain etched in tight lips. Jamal smelled like rain after playing ball. Gone too soon. Elena paced behind them, arms locked. This indulgence builds nothing. But Richard sat down, loosening his tie fully, joining the circle. Tell me more, Soph. Sophie's words tumbled out. Songs, stories, the butterfly rhyme her mother hummed. Maya shared Jamal's dragon tales, fierce beasts conquering fears. The candle burned steadily, shadows dancing on walls as Sophie laughed. A real one, bubbling up from deep. She ate her snack without prodding, crumbs on her chin. Richard sketched awkwardly, his dragon lopsided but earnest. Like this? Sophie's giggle echoed. Silly, Daddy. Elena hovered, fury simmering, but the room warmed with shared grief, turning to bonds. Maya closed her box gently. Healing's messy, but it sticks. Sophie hugged her teddy tighter, eyes brighter. Tomorrow more? Richard nodded, resolve stealing. Elena slipped out, phone buzzing with plans to undermine, her jealousy coiling like smoke. Yet the candle's glow lingered, a fragile light pushing back the dark, hinting at fractures yet to erupt. You're nothing but a charity case invading my home. Get out! Elena spat at Maya, her fork clattering against the dinner plate as she shoved it aside. Maya's jaw locked, teeth grinding audibly, her fork gripped like a weapon. Invading? I'm here for Sophie, not your ego. Sophie shrank in her chair, tiny fists balling the tablecloth, eyes pleading with Richard. Stop yelling! Elena cut her off, voice a venomous slash. Quiet, child. Adults are talking. Richard banged his fist on the table, glasses rattling. Elena, enough. This is a family dinner. But Elena leaned forward, eyes boring into Maya. Family? She's turning Sophie into a sniveling mess with her poverty pity parties. Maya shot back, posture rigid. Pity? It's healing. You wouldn't know. Elena stood abruptly, chair screeching back. Healing? You're drowning her in weakness. Empires aren't built on tears. Sophie whimpered, sliding under the table, her dress catching on the leg. Maya reached for her, but Elena blocked the way, arm outstretched like a barrier. Don't touch her. You're the problem here. Richard rose, face reddening. Sit down, both of you. But Maya ignored him, kneeling to Sophie's level. It's okay, kid. Breathe. Elena grabbed Maya's shoulder, nails digging in. I said don't. Maya twisted free, standing tall. Hands off. Sophie's not your project. She's a kid grieving. Elena's laugh barked out, sharp and mocking. Grieving? Move on, life's brutal. Sophie's sobs escalated, muffled under the table. I want Mommy. Richard pulled Sophie out gently, her face streaked with tears, holding her close. See what you've done? Elena whirled on him. Me! This intruder's the poison. Maya stepped closer, voice low and fierce. Poison? You're the one scheduling grief around board meetings. Elena's hand flew up, pointing at the door. Out! Now! Richard set Sophie down, his arms crossing defiantly. No, Maya stays. Sophie's cries softened as she clung to Maya's leg. Don't go! Elena's eyes narrowed to slits, fury boiling over. You'll regret this, Richard. She's manipulating you both. Maya met her stare unflinching. Manipulating? I'm just listening. Something you skip. The tension snapped like a wire, Elena slamming her napkin down. Fine. Enjoy your little therapy cult. She stormed toward the door, but paused, turning with a final jab. But remember, Richard, power doesn't mix with pity. Richard held Sophie tighter, her breathing steadying in Maya's presence. Maya smoothed Sophie's hair. She's wrong. Strength comes from facing the hurt. Sophie nodded weakly, a small hand reaching up. Richard watched Elena's retreat, doubt creeping in, but the warmth in Sophie's eyes anchored him. Yet Elena's words hung like a blade, sharpening for the strike ahead, her plans festering in the silence she left behind. You're dragging her into the gutter with those street rats. Look at this proof, Elena snarled at Richard, thrusting a stack of photos across the desk, her manicured nails scraping the wood. Richard's fingers clenched the edges, knuckles turning bone white as he scanned the images. Sophie laughing with kids in Brooklyn rags, Maya hugging an elderly man. What the hell is this? Elena cut him off, voice razor edge. Surveillance. Your precious nanny is exposing our daughter to danger. Gangs, beggars. It's her agenda. Maya's entrance halted mid-step, her box of sketches tucked under her RM, eyes narrowing to slits. Agenda? That's community, not crime. Elena whirled, photos fanning out. Community? You're teaching her guilt over our wealth. Lost your brother to poverty? Now you're replacing him with my stepdaughter. Richard slammed the photos down, chair scraping back. You hired spies? Behind my back? Elena leaned in, breath hot on his face. For us, she's manipulating. Look, Sophie's planting seeds in dirt like some farmhand. Sophie burst in then, dirt-streaked hands clutching a tiny pot. Daddy, look, my garden, like Mommy's. Elena snatched it, pot cracking in her grip. Filthy mess. Attracts pests, not in this house. Sophie's face crumpled, pot shattering on the floor, shards scattering like accusations. Maya knelt swiftly, gathering pieces. It's hope, not mess. Elena kicked a shard away. Hope? You're using her pain to heal yours. Poor black girl latching onto rich white kid. Richard's fist pounded the desk. Elena, stop! But she pressed on, voice venomous. Admit it. You're jealous of our life, turning Sophie against privilege. Sophie's sobs erupted, hands covering her ears. I like the garden. It makes me happy. Elena interrupted, yanking her arm. Happy? It's a weakness. We don't wallow. Maya pulled Sophie free gently, her embrace firm. Wallow? It's growth. Richard stared at the photos again, doubt warming in. Sophie's smile in them genuine, but Elena's words twisted like thorns. Is this true? Elena nodded triumphantly. She's replacing her dead brother with Sophie, emotional vampire. Maya's teeth ground together, the ox dropping with a thud. Vampire? I lost Jamal to a system that chews up the poor. I'm helping, not stealing. Elna laughed harshly. Helping? By making her ashamed of our empire? Sophie clung to Maya, pot forgotten. Not ashamed, grateful, and want to share. Richard rubbed his temples, conflict raging, his empire built on cutthroat deals. But Sophie's joy in the dirt challenged it all. Elena gathered the photos, smirking. Choose, Richard, us or her scheme. Maya met his gaze unyielding. No scheme, just truth. Sophie tugged his sleeve. Daddy, please. Elena's eyes gleamed with victory, but Richard's hesitation cracked wider, her poison seeping deep, setting the stage for his solitary hunt for answers. You're delusional if you think she's innocent. Drive there yourself. Elena taunted Richard over the phone, her voice crackling with malice as she hung up abruptly. Richard's grip crushed the steering wheel, tires screeching as he veered toward Brooklyn, doubt fueling his accelerator. "Damn it," he muttered, jaw locked. Elena's photos burning in his mind. Sophie's innocent play twisted into schemes. He slammed the car door in the community center lot, boots pounding pavement, heart thudding like a war drum. Inside, chatter halted as he burst through, eyes scanning the room, elderly folks at tables, kids drawing fiercely. Mrs. Ramirez approached, clipboard clutched tight. "Can I help?" Richard thrust a photo forward. "My daughter was here with the nanny. What's this place really?" Mrs. Ramirez's eyes narrowed, arms crossing defensively. "Really? A haven, safe space for folks like us." Richard cut her off, voice booming. "Safe? Elena says dangers, gangs, exploitation." She snatched the photo, lips pursing. "Exploitation? Your girl's a blessing here." Lit up the room. Richard leaned in, breath short. "Proof. Show me." She led him to the back, where walls burst with kids' art, dragons, gardens, Sophie's butterfly prominent. She shared stories, made Mr. Washington smile. First time in months. Richard's fingers traced the drawing, guilt stabbing deep. She said, "Grateful for what we have." Mrs. Ramirez nodded sharply. Exact words. "Daddy works hard for good things. Makes me want to help others get them too, without shame." Elena texted then, words flashing. "See the truth yet? She's poisoning her." Richard's thumb hovered, rage simmering. "Not poison," he growled to himself, pocketing the phone. Mrs. Ramirez handed him another sketch. Sophie hugging a boy, both grinning. "No guilt, just kindness. Your nanny teaches dignity." Richard's shoulders sagged, Elena's accusations crumbling like ash. He dialed Maya, voice tight. "The centerer, why take her there?" Maya's response came steady, unflinching. "Anger after Jamal, but serving heals. Sophie's learning privilege means duty, not shame." Richard paced, mind reeling. His empire built on taking, not giving. "Duty," he echoed, fist unclenching slowly. Mrs. Ramirez watched him, eyes piercing. "Kids got heart, more than most rich folks." Richard nodded, pieces locking, Elena's distortions exposed, her fear of losing control glaring. He thanked her curtly, striding out, resolve hardening like steel. But Elena's next call buzzed insistently, her voice ready to strike again, pulling him deeper into the web she wove. "You're stealing her soul with your dead brother's trash." "Hand it over," Elena hissed at Sophie, lunging for the wooden box clutched in the girl's trembling hands. Sophie's fingers dug in deeper, nails scraping the etched name, Jamal, her body curling protectively around it. "No, it's Maya's. Jamal died 'cause they were poor. No good stuff." Elena wrenched it free, the box thudding open, sketches spilling like accusations. "Poor? That's their fault. Not our problem." Maya stormed in, eyes blazing, snatching a drawing mid-fall. "Their fault. Systems crush people like us." Elena cut her off, crumpling a sketch. "Us? You mean handouts and excuses?" Sophie screamed, lunging for the box. "Give it back. Jamal needed help. Like I help now." Richard eavesdropped from the hall, fist pressed to mouth, breath held tight as Elena's words sliced deeper. Elena shoved Sophie back, the box slamming shut. "Help? You're brainwashing her into charity cases." Maya grabbed Elena's wrist. "Brainwashing? Truth hurts your perfect world." Elena twisted free, face contorting. "Truth? You're latching on. Black girl from the hood eyeing our life." Sophie's eyes widened, voice piercing. "That's why you hate Maya? 'Cause she's black?" Elena froze, box slipping from her grasp, crashing to the floor. "What? No. It's fit, circles." But Sophie pressed, small fists balled. "You hate the garden too, 'cause it's like Maya, helping poor people." Elena's composure shattered, voice exploding. "Poor people like her want our money, our status. See us as tickets out." Maya stepped forward, posture unbreakable. "Tickets? I never asked for a dime. Goodness is how you treat folks who can't pay you back. Sophie nodded fiercely, tears streaming, but chin high. Maya says having good things means sharing, not hoarding. Elena's hands shook, pointing wildly. Sharing? It'll ruin her. Our world doesn't mix with yours. Richard's heart pounded, hidden but hearing every barb. Elena's mask peeling, revealing rot he'd ignored. Sophie picked up a scattered sketch, holding it like a shield. Jamal drew this. He was brave. You're just mean. Elena lunged again, but Maya blocked her, arms outstretched. Enough! You're scaring her. Elena's laugh cracked, desperate. Scaring? She's turning against me. You're doing. Sophie's voice rose, unwavering. Against you? 'Cause you want me to forget Mommy and hate helping. Richard's resolve cracked open, stepping closer but unseen, guilt and fury warring inside. Elena backed away, chest heaving. You'll see, all of you. Outsiders destroy empires. Maya scooped up the box, handing it to Sophie. Empires? Families built on love. Sophie hugged it tight, eyes on Elena. You're the outsider. Elena fled the room, door slamming, but her venom lingered, poisoning the air, drawing Richard out from the shadows toward confrontation he could no longer dodge. You're the poison turning her against me. Admit it, Elena snarled at Maya, her fist slamming the doorframe as she cornered her in the hall. Maya's back hit the wall, breath hissing through clenched teeth. Against you? She's seeing your hate clearly. Sophie peeked from her room, teddy bear crushed in her arms, eyes wide with fear. Stop fighting. Elena ignored her, advancing on Maya. Hate! You're the invader. Black Nanny stealing my place. Richard burst in, face thunderous, shoving Elena back. Enough lies, I heard it all. Elena whirled, nails raking air. Heard what? Her manipulations? Maya cut in fiercely. Manipulations? Your racism's the real toxin. Elena laughed bitterly, pointing at Sophie. Racism? It's reality. She doesn't fit our world. Sophie's whimpers grew, body trembling. Richard pulled her close, his hold iron. Our world? You mean your cold empire? Elena pressed closer, voice a whip. Empire we built. Now you're blinded, mistaking gratitude for love with this outsider. Maya's fist balled, knuckles cracking. Outsider? I earn trust. You demand it. Elena interrupted, grabbing Richard's arm. Choose now, me or her fantasy family. Sophie's sobs broke free. Daddy, don't let her win. Richard shook Elena off, fury igniting. Win? You're the one destroying us. Elena's eyes flashed desperation, lunging for Sophie. She's mine too, stepmother rights. Maya blocked her, meeting shove. Rights? You terrify her. Richard stepped between, voice booming. No more. You don't belong here. Elena staggered back, face paling. Belong? After everything? Sophie's small voice pierced. You said that to Maya first. Elena's composure cracked, tears welling but unshed. Fine. Keep your pity party, but you'll crawl back when it crumbles. She grabbed her coat, storming past, shoulder slamming Richard's. This isn't over. Maya knelt to Sophie, hugging her tight. It's okay now. Richard watched Elena vanish down the stairs, door banging shut, his chest heaving with finality. Sophie drew a shaky breath, pulling out her sketch pad. Us four. You, me, Maya, Jamal. She sketched quickly, lines bold despite tears. Richard nodded, kneeling beside her. Family's choice. Maya handed him a crayon, her touch steady. We choose each other. Sophie's smile flickered, fragile but real, as Elena's car engine roared outside, fading into the night, her threats echoing like distant thunder, priming the storm yet to break. You're weak if you let that nanny dictate our life. Prove me wrong. Elena's voice echoed in Richard's mind, her parting taunt from the hall replaying as he paced the study, fist slamming the desk. Richard's knuckles bled slightly from the impact, doubt festering like an open wound. Damn her, he growled, dialing the therapist Elena had pushed, her expert on tough love. Sophie knocked softly, peeking in with her sketch pad clutched tight. Daddy, can Maya come tomorrow? Richard knelt, forcing a smile, but his grip on her shoulders tightened. Not this weekend, kiddo. We're trying something new. You, me, Elena in the Hamptons. Build independence. Sophie's face fell, lips quivering. But Maya helps me feel strong. Elena arrived unannounced, bag slung over her shoulder, her smirk cutting deep. Smart choice. Cut the crutch. Richard nodded curtly, ignoring the twist in his gut. For Sophie. Sophie backed away, teddy bear dropping. I don't want to go without her. Elena scooped the bear, tossing it aside. You will. No more coddling. Richard's resolve wavered, but Elena's hand on his arm squeezed. Trust me, this fixes her manipulations. Sophie stamped her foot, tears welling. It's not. Maya loves me. Richard hushed her, voice strained. Enough. Pack up. Sophie's sobs choked out as she fled the room, door slamming behind. In the car, Sophie sat silent in the back, box of Jamal's sketches on her lap, fingers tracing the edges obsessively. Elena glanced back, eyes narrowing. Leave that junk behind next time. Richard gripped the wheel harder, tires humming on the highway. It's comfort. Elena laughed sharply. Comfort breeds weakness. This trip tests her, alone with us. Sophie's whispers to the box grew frantic. Jamal, help. Richard caught her eyes in the mirror, guilt slamming him. It'll be good, Soph. But her silence screamed otherwise, body curling small. Elena patted his knee. See? She's fine. Richard's doubt roared louder, the Hamptons villa looming ahead like a trap, his compromise already cracking under the weight of unspoken regrets. You're just a manipulative little brat. Sit down and behave, Elena snapped at Sophie, her hand clamping down on the girl's shoulder as the villa's power flickered out, plunging them into darkness. Sophie's body went rigid, shoving Elena's hand away with surprising force. You're mean. I hate you. Elena's slap rang out, sharp and stinging, but Sophie didn't cry. Instead, her eyes burned with defiance in the dim flashlight glow. Richard flipped on his phone light, the beam cutting through the shadows. Elena, what the hell? Elena whirled, face twisted. She's defying me. Your fault for indulging her. Sophie bolted for the door, small feet pounding. I want Maya. Wind howled outside, a blizzard lashing the windows, but Sophie yanked the back door open, cold air blasting in. Sophie, stop! Richard lunged, but she slipped through, vanishing into the night. Elena crossed her arms, unmoving. Let her throw her fit. She'll come back freezing. Richard's chest heaved, panic surging as he grabbed a coat. She's 6. In a blizzard. Elena blocked him briefly. This proves my point. Too dependent on that nanny. Richard shoved past her, the door banging wide. Your point? You caused this. Sophie's distant cry pierced the gale, faint but desperate. Richard plunged outside, boots sinking into snow, wind whipping his face raw. Sophie! His shouts were swallowed by the storm, body numbed fast. Elena watched from the window, lips curling. Fool! She manipulates you both. Inside, the villa creaked ominously, but Elena poured herself a drink, glass clinking defiantly. Richard stumbled deeper, visibility zero, hypothermia biting his limbs. Where are you? A branch snapped nearby, but no Sophie, only his own ragged breaths. Elena's voice echoed in his head, mocking. Weak! He collapsed to his knees, snow burying him, regret crashing like waves. Sophie's absence screamed louder than the wind, his compromise now a deadly trap unraveling fast. You're pathetic, freezing out there for her tantrum. Stay inside, Elena barked through the villa door, her flashlight beam stabbing the night as Richard staggered back, snow caking his coat. Richard's teeth chattered, shoving her light away. Tantrum, she's lost. Help me search. Elena slammed the door halfway. No, this proves she's spoiled. Let her learn. A faint cry cut the wind. Sophie's voice, weak but piercing. Richard whirled, plunging deeper into the blizzard, limbs numb, vision blurring. Sophie! Elena watched from the window, arms locked, a sip of whiskey burning her throat. Fool! Always caving. Maya's car skidded to a halt outside the villa, headlights cutting swaths through snow, her door flying open. Where is she? She demanded, bursting in past Elena's blockade. Elena blocked her, glass shattering on the floor. You! How dare you show up? Maya shoved past, coat shedding snow. Sophie called, sneaked your phone, said, desperate. Elena grabbed her arm, nails gouging. Lies! Get out, intruder! Maya twisted free, voice steel. Intruder? Your cruelty drove her out. Richard's distant shout echoed, frantic. Maya dashed outside, flashlight sweeping, spotting tracks, small footprints vanishing into white. Sophie, hold on! Richard collapsed near a drift, breath ragged, hypothermia clawing. A glow flickered ahead. A small fire, Sophie's form huddled, Maya's arms wrapping her in a blanket. Got you, kid. Warm up. Sophie's teeth chattered. Called you. Daddy's wrong. Maya rubbed her hands briskly. He's scared too. Richard stumbled upon them, collapsing beside. How? Maya met his eyes, unyielding. Drove 4 hours through this hell. Nursed skills, kept her alive. Sophie's weak hug pulled him in. Maya saved me again. Back at the villa, Elena confronted them at the door, face livid. Ridiculous. She orchestrated this. Richard exploded, snow melting off him in rivulets. Orchestrated? She nearly died. Not manipulation. Desperation. Elena's finger jabbed. Your fault. Clinging to her. Maya tended to Sophie inside, applying heat packs. I'll always come when needed. Richard watched, contrasting starkly Maya's action with Elena's complaints. Elena pressed. Choose now. Richard's voice thundered. Mistake. All of it. Elena recoiled, but Maya's steady gaze anchored him, the fire's embers dying as resolve ignited. Storm's fury mirroring the break to come. You're finished in this world. I'll ruin you both. Elena hissed at Richard through the villa door, her suitcase thudding down as she shoved past him into the snow-dusted dawn. Richard's grip on the frame tightened, knuckles splitting skin. Pack faster, you're gone. Elena whirled, nails raking his arm. Gone? After I built you? Maya stepped forward from inside, Sophie in her arms, eyes locked fiercely. Built? You broke her. Elena lunged at Maya. You thief! Stealing my family! Richard blocked her, shoving meeting chest. Your family? Pack or I call security? Sophie's small voice cut sharply. Bye, mean lady. Elena's face crumpled, but she snatched her bag, storming to her car. You'll beg for me back. Richard slammed the door, turning to Maya, breath ragged. Stay. Forever. As family. Maya's arms tightened around Sophie, jaw set. Family? That night I saved her first. I planned to end it all. Grief swallowed me after Jamal. Richard's hand reached out, clasping hers. You turned pain to purpose. Saved you, too. Sophie wriggled down, grabbing her sketch pad. Let's finish Jamal's dragons with my butterflies. Maya nodded, tears biting but unshed. Together, his stories live on. Richard knelt, crayon in hand. No more empires, just us. Elena's car sped away, but her venom spread. Texts blasting rumor to Wall Street contacts. A video surfaced hours later, grainy but damning. Elena ranting in Roxbury shadows, slurs flying about those people and stealing our kind. Shares plummeted, her firm fired her mid-calth L, door locked behind. She screamed into her phone, alone in a hotel, empire ashes. Back at the villa, Richard's phone buzzed with the clip. She's done. Maya hugged Sophie tighter. Karma bites hard. Sophie's laugh bubbled. Now we build real stuff. Richard nodded, resolve stealing. The video's echo fading as new bonds forge. But whispers of old wounds lingered, promising growth from ruins. You're just a has-been now. Watch your empire burn. Elena's final text flashed on Richard's phone, her venom spitting across the screen as he deleted it mid-read, thumb grinding the glass. Richard's shoulders squared, tossing the device aside, turning to Sophie and Maya in the transformed penthouse, once sterile, now alive with sketches pinned everywhere. Ignore her. We're starting Jamal's light today. Sophie's hands flew up, clapping sharply. The fund. For kids like Jamal. Help them heal. Maya nodded, her box open on the table. Sketches fanned out. His dragons guard it. No more losses to poverty. Elena's video replayed in Richard's mind. Her slurs viral, job gone, but he shoved it down, focusing on Sophie's eager grip pulling him to the desk. 1 year later, the penthouse buzzed with warmth. Art supplies scattered, books stacked high, no more cold marble voids. Richard stirred pancakes, spatula flipping with unpracticed flips, batter splattering his shirt. Breakfast ready. Sophie dashed in, now 7, hair wild from sleep, clutching a finished book. Jamal's stories completed with her butterflies woven in. Look, Daddy, we did it. Maya followed, apron dusted with flour, her laugh deep and genuine. Teamwork. Jamal's light, funded 10 centers already. Richard plated the food, his tie absent, work laptop gathering dust in the corner. No meetings today, story time first. Sophie's eyes sparkled, flipping pages. Dragons save the lost kids, like us. Elena called once, voice cracking over the speaker. You ruined me, admit it. Richard cut her off, finger jabbing end call. Your words did that. Maya squeezed his hand. Let go. We're free. Sophie hugged them both, body warm and trusting. Families choosing to stay. Richard read aloud, voice steady. Dragons battling storms, butterflies guiding light. Maya added lines, her pain softened, purpose etched in every word. Healing multiplies. Sophie's additions burst with color, her grief now a bridge, not a wall. The anniversary hit, storm night remembered. They gathered at 7, 3 candles lit, one for Emily, vanilla scented, one for Jamal, dragon etched, one for their forged family, flame steady. Richard's hand trembles, lighting them, memories crashing, Elena's chill versus Maya's fire. Inheritance isn't cash, it's love shared, home in those who see you and stay. Sophie blew gently, wishes whispered. More sentences, more help. Maya nodded, tears glinting. Purpose from pain. Richard pulled them close, the flames dancing, shadows banished, their new legacy burning bright, unbreakable. In the end, this story reminds us that true wealth isn't measured in empires or fortunes, but in the love we share, the empathy we offer, and the families we choose to build. Ones that heal wounds and bridge divides, no matter the cost. What about you? Share your thoughts or a personal story of overcoming division and finding real connection in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. If this touched you, hit that subscribe button for more inspiring tales, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.